Hi everyone, welcome back. I am going to speed this up like 1,000% because this is a paint crime scene. It started off with a good idea. I wanted to do some negative space swipe with Diox Purple and Australian Red Violet in the background. Something went wrong. I never could fix it. My paint was actually starting to dry, so I scraped it, but this is the crime scene. You have just witnessed a paint murder, but because I have spent over an hour in here, and I probably could have kept messing with that, but I had been working on it so long that the paint was drying, so it was probably going to crack. So I am going to use up some paint that I want to use up. I'm going to do it in a different way. I'm going to tell you as I go. Right now I'm a little frustrated, so I'm going to put my pillow down. The reason I'm going to switch gears a little bit is because I need to make sure that I can cover up what's on here. So I'm going to put down my pillow paint. We're going to do some version of a Beatles back is what we're going to do instead. We're going to do it as a swipe. I have some Colourarte PrizmPour colors mixed up. I don't like the base I have them mixed in as much. For some reason, after it sat, it got to the point where it would like do weird things. I switched my gloves because, I mean, when I tell you that I have a mess over here, it is a mess. So I'm going to go ahead and put down a puddle of black. So we're kind of do a faux pillow. I just wasted a crap ton of paint. Now I have some carbon black from Matisse that's mixed in this pouring medium that doesn't, what am I trying to say? I don't like it as much as the Infinity Gold. It's the Valspar Reserve. I liked it when I first started using it, and now I just don't like it quite as much. But anyway, this carbon black is mixed in that. And it's a little bit thin, which is okay because we're going to put it at the bottom as like kind of a fake pillow. Crap. I have such a mess here that I can't even move my spinner. So anyway, I'm going to put it down. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of blue on there too because I have some. I have the Indanthrone blue down here. But I'm going to go ahead and just use this guy up. So this will end up kind of looking like we used a black pillow. And ironically, when you do Beatles backs, if you use a black pillow versus doing something like this, I don't get the same result. So this is a trick I learned from Shelly because I've taken the course. And I don't get, like I tried once to do a Beatles back and just cut out this part and do a black pillow, and the result was kind of crappy, to be honest. So this works better for me. I think that it's also just kind of a paint consistency thing. You know, your pillow paint versus black paint and your pouring medium is going to stabilize differently. I think the house paint, the black house paint, absorbs your paint differently sometimes than this. So just so you know, that's at least what I think happens. So this is the Indanthrone blue. I'm going to drizzle it. So you can see probably, maybe, you probably can't see from where you are, but like this mixture that I said I wasn't as wild about, out on the edges where the pillow paint is, it almost like wants to bleed into it, and that's not something I get from my usual mix. So anyway, so I'm just gonna, I'm not using completely iridescent colors today, but I am using the PrizmPour, I think they're the Tropic Pearls. Anyway, so they're kind of pastel-y, pearly colors. So I'm gonna put those, I'm going to use those because I want to use them up and mix up a fresh batch because I have them mixed up in this. So I have done Beatles backs before. I learned this from Shelly. That's so, you know, don't think I'm innovative and came up with it on my own, because I didn't. I'm gonna sprinkle all those colors and we're gonna swoosh it around with a palette knife. I got my bigger palette knife. It's not very often that I have a very, very frustrating painting day. I do have them just like everyone else, and today is one of them. My husband was working and I was like, I'm gonna paint while he works. I'm gonna knock out a painting real quick and then do a workout. And like an hour and a half later, I'm over here trying to rescue that painting. It's already almost dry, just being evil. So I'm done trying to rescue that painting right now. I used all the rest of my black cell activator on that, and so I'm just like, Arr. So I'm just kind of cleaning up my mess as I go. I may put a couple of these random colors that I have a little bit left of from that catastrophe down on the bottom. So this is the Nightfall. That you may not even know that, because I probably just showed you the disaster in hyperspeed. But I'm going to go ahead and use this up, because that's part of the purpose of this, is to use up paint, right? So voila, we use that guy up. And I had one more color over here that I was going to use up. Good grief, I'm making the most colossal mess. This color is Tanzanite, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on too, because it kind of goes with our theme and I need to use it up. So this will be sort of a Beatles back, sort of not. We're just going to roll with it, you know what I mean? Y'all don't mind rolling with it, right? So anyway, I may have not even really introduced the disaster before, so but yeah, if you're still here, thank you, because this is a rough painting day for me. That's all right, we all have them. Comes with the territory. I mean, at least a lot of what I did before was using up old paint, right? I have some cerulean blue. I don't think I can use that though. I think it's too thick at this point. All right, so let's put away these other colors. All right, this is Whispering Wind. These paints are a little bit richer than they look right now. This mix, for some reason, it mutes them when it's wet, but it dries clear. So I'm just gonna drizzle. I don't really trust this mix right now, so I wanna drizzle. I don't wanna like pour. And I really love the way this Nightfall kind of looks in this. It looks kind of like it's meant to go here. So I'm gonna drizzle these, and then I'm gonna drizzle some of the black and the indigo. I keep calling it indigo. It's Indanthrone blue, but I keep calling it indigo because it looks like Matisse indigo. So I'm gonna clean this little thing off as I go, and I'm gonna show you the next color. So next up, we're gonna use Wasabi. All right, here's Wasabi. It's a really cool color. Again, these are gonna be more vibrant looking than they look here. It's this mix. And what I don't like about, I didn't have this issue when I first used this reserve. And maybe I didn't mix it well enough in the gallon. That could be it. But toward the bottom, like you can see now that this is spreading out, you see this? I don't really normally get that. But it like gets all whooshy and watery in the thing. And we have way too much paint on here, in case you're wondering. In case you're wondering that, you would be accurate. But, oh well, you know. So, the next one up is Moody Lilac. But this, just so you know, look, this is what it does after it sits over time. And some of that is normal, but that kind of breaking up I don't have quite that much trouble with Infinity. So this is Moody Lilac. Looks really soft. Again, if I were just to mix this with some Jo Sonja instead of the pouring medium, you would see how much more vibrant that color is. So please don't judge the color based on what you're seeing or not seeing. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm using it up, because I want to mix it correctly, or just use the Jo Sonja. So yeah, anyway, oh crap, I just got it everywhere. I'm making such a colossal mess, you guys, you have no idea. All right, next up is Bohemian Sea, which is one of my favorites from this set. But again, see how this separates? It's not really a big deal, but I would have some maybe minor separation with the Infinity. So it could just be that it is normally fine and maybe I didn't mix up the gallon well enough, but this is Bohemian Sea. And again, we have so much paint on here, so I'm just kind of drizzling. We're just having fun, venting our feelings about a bad paint day. Slinging paint is a lot of fun sometimes when you've had a bad paint day, you know? Why not sling some paint? I think we'll use a little Satin doll. We seem to have more of a bluish, purplish theme here. A little Satin doll, never hurt anybody. From the same set. I didn't use any shiny taffeta. I guess I could, but that would kind of add a yellowish gold. But I obviously have too much paint on here as it is. All right, so here's Satin doll. All right, just gonna, little bit, I thought about putting some opalite on here, but I think I have maybe too much stuff going on at this point. So I think we'll not. Okay. And then make sure we have enough stuff. A tiny bit of the Tanzanite left. Nope, it's too thick. Just let it go, Amanda, let it go. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna do a little more indigo and a little bit of black. We're gonna swipe using a white cell activator. I was not talking to Alexa, but she thought I was. She's wrong. So we're gonna swipe. La la la. Okay. Slinging the paint is therapeutic after you've had a paint crime scene. You know, it just is. But we have way too much paint on here. And we're gonna have to spin enough off so that we don't have a cracked painting. So I'm trying to kind of clean up as I go because I have made just the biggest mess maybe that I've ever made. The amount of paint at the bottom of my spinner is unreal. Okay, so I have my fresher batch of carbon black, which is mixed better. And because I'm putting it underneath my cell activator, that is muy importante. So still from Matisse, but it's mixed using my regular pouring medium. So we're gonna drizzle, 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 drizzle. Now, if I were doing a Beatles back bloom, I would just have a small puddle of the dark paint under my cell activator. But because we're swiping, and I'm gonna do kind of a swooshy swipe, we need a little bit of it everywhere. Otherwise, it'll just be like pastel white cell activator against all these pastel-y colors, you know? So we need a little bit more of it when we do it this way. So we're having a good time here. We, however, don't need to spread it out everywhere because basically everything outside of this circle is probably going to spin off. So I probably should just chill and go ahead and move forward. But I'm not going to lie, at some point there's just therapeutic benefit to slinging it after you've had a massacre of a paint day. So welcome to my crime scene, you know what I mean? All right, so where is my palette knife? Here's my palette knife, the big one, my Colourarte swiper. I even brought in my torch, that's how bad my bubbles were. I need to move some of the things out of the way. I'm going to use Atelier titanium white as my cell activator. I like Atelier for swipes, especially if I want the cell formation to kind of stay firm, because it is thicker, so it's going to hold its cell formation a little better. I don't know what I did with my poppy thingy. There it is. And I have a lot of bubbles, but that's probably gonna just be a thing. So I'm just gonna load this up and then I'm gonna swoosh it. Now I have mixed this up quite a while ago and I thought about using a black and white cell activator, but because we have the black paint down, I just don't really think that we need to. So I just want I don't want to flood this thing. I want an even coat without it being like real drippy, you know, just enough to know that I have room to go. So I kind of like it to be even, but because this is going to basically swipe the whole thing, I need it to be enough. So, all right, make sure you guys can see me. And I'm going to do this. It's not going to be perfect. I messed up right there. But I think I can deal with that. If that's the worst of it today, we can deal with it. All right. Plus, this will probably come out to the edge considering how much paint I have on here. And I have a lot of cell activator where I first started the swipe and around here, but mostly out here we're just going to have lacing. So all I'm doing now is gently breaking the surface tension, because again, we have so much paint on here that what's going to come out to the edge is probably going to be primarily what's right here. I am going to pop a couple of these guys while I break the surface tension. All right. You don't want to blow real hard when you're doing this, because then you're going to blow into your pillow. So, and I have been known to do that. So there's a couple of kind of the gigantic bubbles I'm going to pop here. I kind of want to drag my skewer through here, and just in case this ends up staying part of it, I want it to kind of look like we did this on purpose. We didn't, but it'll probably look like ribbons of color. So I'm okay with that. I think that actually looks really cool when that shows up in some places. We don't have great cell formation. I might have used a little too little cell activator, but and I did get into the pillow when I spun around the edge. You know, those are just real struggles you deal with swipes. But I think after we spin it out, it'll look cool. So right now you're probably like, big woo, it looks great. But give me a second. I told you that on the last video too, but you never saw that part because it was a crime scene. Okay, let's spin it a little bit. You see how it's opening up? I'm not wild about that, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna come off. So, a lot of bubbles over here. I'm gonna pop them before we keep going. So let me pause you because there's some really significant ones and they're gonna cause problems. I kind of gave up on popping some of the bubbles because there's so many, and some of this may not even stay on here. I'm really tempted to re-swipe this, but right now, because we have all that lacing, it won't have the effect that I think it will. So I'm just gonna keep spinning and see what happens. Because again, some of this may look pretty humdrum right now, but under resin, ooh, let me tell you, these are so beautiful after they get resined. They really are. So the only thing that we can do is we can kind of shift some of the weight of our paint where we have the best parts of the design. We are gonna have, I have a globby over here, I'm pretty sure. We are gonna have some smaller lacing toward the bottom, which I honestly kind of like that. But some of these stupid bubbles are driving me crazy. So this part is gonna look fantastic. So I just have to decide, am I gonna wanna shift some of this down or just kind of let it do its thing naturally? Because the part that I was worried about down there on the bottom now looks really cool. So now I'm like, that's not a problem after all. Maybe we'll shift some of the weight back up. But I know there's a globby in this paint. There you are. You tried to hide, but we found you. But these end up having kind of a planet feel, you know, these kind of swipes. So I kind of like the ribbons of color where I screwed up the swipe, and kind of in the middle where we don't have as much color where we should. Oh crap. I again have my cell activator lid over here to get really dirty. So obviously we had a lot of paint. So now you can see as we have spun this out, it's opening up pretty nicely. We do have obviously one part that has crazy cells and another part that doesn't. Honestly, that doesn't bother me. It may bother you. I do kind of wish we had a little bit more movement, like where it was coming down here, but we've kind of passed the point where we can tweak that too much. Oof, I have too much paint on here. I'm so covered in paint that literally everything I do at this point is a mess. So let me pop a couple bubbles. We'll give it a couple more spins and then I'll bring you in for a close-up. I'd like to get, ideally, I'd like to get a little bit of this white part either to open up or spin off. And the rest of it, where, excuse me, where we don't have as many cells, that doesn't really bother me because the colors are really beautiful and they'll look really beautiful under resin. So I'm just gonna kind of look for globbies, pop some bubbles, because there's obviously some globbies in my paint. And then I'll keep spinning and bring you down for a close-up. Ooh, that was a big one. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm a little lightheaded now. So I'm gonna tilt this just a little bit. Not a lot, because I don't like how it messes up your cells. I don't think it's moving, so let's not. We're gonna spin a couple times. I think I just saw another globby. The Nightfall in the background of this looks really cool. It adds some depth in some places. Is this my best Beatle spec swipe? No way. But is this better than the Massacre that you saw in the beginning of this video? Oh, yes. So we just want to make sure we have enough paint off. I also kind of see why things are going this way. My MDF is not quite centered. So I think this looks kind of cool. If I were to hang it not hang it, but put it on like a little easel or something. I think I would have it kind of off center on purpose to create the movement that I kind of wish it was creating on its own. But I don't really mind it fading from very celly up here to not as much down here. And I'm getting some of this extra white part off. I think that's where I swiped into my pillow when I first went around the corner. So I don't really mind if that comes off. I think it'll look a little bit, not uniform, it's not gonna look uniform, but I think it'll look a little bit cleaner that way because you won't have this like really obnoxious white part. And you can see my cells are obviously opening up quite a bit around the edge. I don't want to keep spinning at this point because I don't love huge cells. Some people do, but I don't. And the bigger they get, the harder it seems to be to control their shape and the composition of the piece. So I would rather stop. I know that I have blobbies in my paint and I can't see them. There's one. You can kind of see them when the light hits them a certain way. So let me bring you down for a close-up. I'm going to clean up and I'm going to call this a win because today has been excuse me, kind of a wretched painting day for me. But when in doubt, make something with beautiful Beatles back type colors and use up some paint, you know? Don't let the massacre be for nothing. Paint Massacre. Paint Massacre 2022. Okay, be right back. All right, everyone. So this is not the best Beatles back swipe I've ever done, but I do like it. You can see how beautiful the colors are up close. So the way you can see that sparkle here, it will be incredible under resin. So let me know what you think. You can see that Nightfall kind of peeping through. But yeah, these colors are gorgeous. They'll look even better as the drying and the resining process goes. I like these because they kind of always have like a planetary type feel to them. I didn't do the greatest job swiping, obviously, but you know what? After the painting day I've had, it's fine. So you can see up here where we were starting to lose some of our cell shape. I'm even getting a little flocculation. That's why I wanted to stop. There's still a bunch of bubbles I didn't get, but yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me when things are not perfect, as well as when they go well. Look at that little pop of color. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know you're here. And again, thank you guys, as always, for all of your support. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.